Good morning, students. We will start with another two programs for the day today, another two practice programs. So, have a look at the problem statement. We are supposed to find the largest and the smallest element in an array using dynamic memory allocation. So, a group of same like the way you did for the arrays, in a group of elements, we need to find which is the largest number and which is the smallest number. The only difference is we will be doing it using dynamic memory allocation. Now you have studied two ways for the dynamic memory allocation. You have studied malloc and you have also studied calloc. Now, can you tell me which will be more better for this? Should we go for malloc or should we make use of calloc dynamic memory allocation?
Calloc.
Calloc. Why?
Continuous memory allocation.
Yes. So it is going to be continuous memory allocation. So I hope the problem statement is understood. First, let us just try to understand this theoretically. So have a look at this particular list of items that I have written at line number 4. The elements that we have are 11, 33, 2, 24 and 1. Now by looking at this, you can tell me that 1 is the smallest element and 33 in the array is the largest element. So how are we going to try to write the logic for this? Okay, what we are going to do is we are going to make an assumption. So what is the assumption going to be? We are going to concentrate on this first element, the first element in the array. So we are going to assume that the first element in the array is the largest element as well as the first element in the array is the smallest element. Okay, pay attention. I will repeat once again. Our task is to find the largest and the smallest element in a given set of elements. For that, we need to make use of dynamic memory allocation. So we are going to make use of calloc function because it is going to help us to continuously allocate blocks of memory. Now these are the set of elements. I have taken just 5 elements here. Now what what our assumption is going to be is we will assume that the first element in the array, we will assume it to be the largest and we will also assume it to be the smallest. Now let's talk about the first one. Let's say that 11 is the largest element according to our assumption. Now our task is going to be what? We will try to compare this first element with rest of the elements in the array. Okay, so what do I mean by this? I'm talking about finding the largest element. I'm going to compare 11 with 33. If the next number is greater than my assumption, then I'm going to replace my assumption with the next number. Suppose I compare my first number with the next element and the next element is not larger than 11, then I'm going to keep my assumption as it is, which means what? I'm going to keep 11 as the largest only. Only if I find an element greater than 11 in this set of elements, I will be replacing my variable L with the next largest number. The same assumption goes for the smallest number also. Since I have assumed 11 to be the smallest number in the array, now my task will be I will compare this first element with rest of the elements in the array. So first time say that I'm comparing 11 and I'm comparing 33. So among these two numbers, 11 is the smallest. So my assumption is correct. Next, I'm going to compare 11 and I'm going to compare 2. Now my assumption is wrong, right? When I compare 11 and 2, 2 is the smallest. So I'm going to change my assumption. I'm going to assign the variable 2 to be the smallest. So similarly, I'm going to compare now next set. I'm going to compare 2 and I'm going to compare the next element, that is 24. So likewise, I'm going to continue comparing till I find the largest and the smallest in the array. So let's start with the program and let us try to write the logic for this. So I have, since I'm going to make use of dynamic memory allocation here, I need a pointer variable. So I have declared P, star P. Then I have declared a variable N to accept how many elements the user wants to enter. Next, I have a variable I, which is going to be for iteration, which is going to work for the looping to accept the number of elements from the user as well as print those elements. Next thing, two variables L and S. So L indicates the largest number and S is going to indicate the smallest number in the array. Next is the printf statement. I'm asking the user how many elements he wishes to enter. Then I need to accept it and I'm going to store it in my variable N. The next thing, you are familiar with this. We are allocating dynamic memory. We are making the pointer P point to the dynamic allocation. So the value of N according to this numbers that I have given here is 5. So we will be allocated 5 into 2 bytes each. So totally 10 blocks of memory will be allocated to us. Next, again we need, once we have asked the user how many elements he wants to enter, our next task is to accept those elements and put them in the memory. So with each iteration, you know that we are going to start from 0 and move up till 5 since the array size here is 5. And you are aware of this. We have used this many times now. So whenever we talk about dynamic memory allocation and we need to store it in our memory, we make use of the pointer variable along with the iteration. So let us go back to the Excel sheet now. Okay, have a look at this section. I have already written the iterations here and I have written these memory addresses with the iterations. So let us accept the elements and let us write here those elements which are entered. So 5 elements are entered by the user. Now pay attention to the next one. Let us write our assumption. So what is our assumption? Can anyone repeat?
The first element of the array is the largest and the smallest. We need to assign
Yes,
it to the L and S.
correct. So I have said that I have taken the variable L to represent my largest number. So this is going to be the first, the assumption is the first element is this. So how do we get the first element? We know that whenever we make use of the asterisk operator or the indirection operator, we will be able to fetch our first element. So I'm going to assign my first element to the variable L. So this is the assignment. Here with this star P, I'm able to access the content. So this is assigned to my variable L. Similarly, for my smallest variable, the S also, the smallest variable S, I will also assign the first element itself. So again, I will say star of P. So the assignment is over. Now we need to carry out with our looping and check and compare first element with the second, first element with the third, and check whether our assumption is correct or not. So for that, let us make use of the for loop. Now you can see here, I'm going to start my looping. Okay, I'm going to begin the looping with I is equal to 1. The iteration is going to begin from I is equal to 1. So why am I starting with I is equal to 1 and why am I not starting with I is equal to 0?
Because the initial element is assigned to largest and smallest now.
Correct, very good. We have already assigned this. If you have a look at these statements here, L is equal to star P and S is equal to star P. The first element is already taken. So we need not compare the first element with itself, right? We have to start from here. We need to compare these elements with the first element. So we will start our loop from I is equal to 1 and go up till the nth element in the list. So inside my for loop, I will have a if condition to compare. So I'm going to write if statement. Now, I need to access my second element. Okay. So we know that whenever I say P, if I say P plus I, this is going to give me the address. So if I need to access the content of this, what do I need to precede it with? I just have to add an asterisk. Let me put the brackets here. I need to write the asterisk. So asterisk of P plus I will give me the content here. The content here was 33. So this content will be given. Now I need to compare this content with which element? I need to compare it with this element. So first we will try to find the largest. So what do I need to check? If 33 is greater than my L. What is L now? L is 11. Okay, I am repeating this statement once again. Pay attention to this. Okay, so this is my first element L. Currently, I will write it here. The variable L has the value 11 and the variable S also has the value 11. Now our task is to compare this 11 or to compare the variable L with the next element. Now how do we fetch the next element? We need to make use of our indirection operator. And P plus I, what is the P base address? P is 2000. So 2000 plus the value of I is equal to 1. We are in the first iteration now. So 1 into 2 bytes, which is going to make it 2000 plus 2, which is going to be 2002. So we are at the memory location 2002. So if I need to access the content of this, I will just precede it with asterisk operator. So the asterisk or the star of P plus I will give me 33. So here in this if statement, I am comparing if 33 is greater than 11. Is the condition true?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. So the condition becomes true. So what happens when the condition becomes true? Our assumption is wrong. We need to update the value of the large because we have found an element which is greater than our assumption. We had assumed 11 to be the greatest number, but now we have found out that 33 is the greatest number. So we are simply going to update after the if condition. We are simply going to write a statement to update the value of our variable L. So for that, what will be the statement now? If I need to update this?
L is equal to star P plus I.
Correct. Because star P plus I is nothing but our next element, that was 33. Currently, the iteration that we have reached is just at 33. So I will say star P plus I. So this is our assumption. If the condition becomes true, we will be updating our assumption. Okay. Similarly, let us try to write a statement, a if condition, to check the smallest number. Okay. So for that, let me again have an if condition. The same thing again. I am going to compare 33, okay, with my smallest element, which is 11. So what statement will be there? The same, we need to fetch the content here. So again, asterisk of P plus I is less than our variable S, which is the smallest number. Now let us have a look here. Our smallest value currently is 11. P plus I with I is equal to 1, we are at this location. So we are trying to compare, is 33 less than our variable 11. Is the condition true or is it false?
False.
It is false. So if it is false, what is going to be the assignment? Means what? See, we have assumed that 11 is my smallest number and we are comparing it with 33. So our assumption here becomes true. S, that is 11, is still the smallest number. You just compare these two numbers. Out of these two, we have assumed 11 to be smallest. And when we compare it with 33, still our assumption that 11 is the smallest is correct. So we need not update. Okay. In case, assume that this number was 3. Okay. Let me write it here. I'll just update this. So now you have a look at the statement. Is 3 less than 11? Yes, 3 is less. So what is our assumption? Our assumption that S is the smallest number, that 11 is the smallest number becomes false. So we need to again update our smallest element. So for that, I'm going to update my variable S with the current content. So again, I need to write the same statement, that is P plus I. So this is the logic where we are trying to update. Okay. Let us try to trace this program and then let us see, you can tell me whether you have followed this or not. Okay. Let me just revert back this value. So let's start from the beginning. The logic is only this much, these 4 set of statements here. So for the first iteration, we are at this position and we have found out about the largest value. Let us do this for the same, for the smallest element now. Let us try to compare 33 if it is less than 11. So the condition becomes false here. So if this is false, it means we need not execute this. If it is false, we need not go inside our if condition. So we will increment and now the value of I becomes 2. Okay, the value of I now becomes 2. So now here we are again going to compare. So what is going to be star P plus I this time? We are at the iteration. We are at the iteration 2. So what is going to be star of P plus I?
2.
2.
So now we need to check if 2. Have we updated the value of L previously?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. 33.
Yes, it was 33. So we will update it here also for our understanding. Okay. So now we are comparing, is 2 greater than 33? The condition becomes false again. So if it is false, we need not execute the if condition. We need not go inside the if condition. Let us move to the smallest, checking the smallest number. So we are at the location with the iteration I is equal to 2. So star of P plus 2 will give us the value 2 here. So we are checking, is 2 less than 11? True or false? True. So what we need to do now?
We need to update the value of S.
Yes, we need to update the value of S. And how do we do it? We are just trying to reassign. This was our original initialization. And once we found out that our initialization is wrong, we need to reassign it. So now the value of S will be updated to 2. So next iteration we move. Now I is becoming 3. So we are at this particular address 2006. So the content of this is going to be 24. So let us compare now. Is 24 greater than 33? False. So we still need not go in the if condition. Similarly, for the smallest number, we will compare if 23 is less than, have a look at the updated value of S here. The value of S has been updated to 2. So is 24 less than 2? False.
No, ma'am. False.
Yes, false. So we need not again execute this statement. Okay. Now we'll move to the last iteration. When I becomes 4, the value that we fetch is 1. Star of P plus I becomes 1. So let us now compare here. Is 1 greater than 33? False. Need not execute this. Similarly, for the if condition here. Now you tell me, is 1 less than 2?
True, ma'am.
So if it is true, we need again to update our smallest element. So this time we will update the value of s to be equal to 1. So have a look at the array and see if our output is correct. Are we getting the largest and the smallest number correctly?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. All of you have a look at the program. See whether you have followed it or not. Did you follow the program?
Yes, ma'am.
How about others?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, see, I'm just the last three set of statements you're used to now. We are just printing the largest and the smallest element and clearing out our memory. Let us go for the execution and check. So you tell me how many elements you want to enter. Anybody?
5.
10.
10. Okay. Give me the elements.
3.
Hmm.
27.
27.
9.
Okay.
4.
Yes.
31.
Loudly. Somebody else is
65.
telling again. 65.
65.
Hmm.
78.
Hmm.
1.
1
0.
and 0. Are we done with 10 elements? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Okay. I guess another element. 9. We are done with 9. We need one more element. Let's add 2. So is it correct? Are we getting the correct output?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So this is the program using dynamic memory allocation. Anyone is having any doubts? Please ask. This part is our main logic. Okay. Then let's proceed with next one. Okay. You have already done this program. Just a small change. You remember this? We calculated the sum of even digits and the sum of odd digits by accepting input from the user. Okay. Recall this program. We were able to calculate the sum of even and odd numbers. Do you remember this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now, what is the task here is, see, so far when we talked about dynamic memory allocation, we have just made use of one single pointer variable. Whereas you have a look at these other, the other variables are static only. Only this pointer variable is pointing to this dynamic allocation. P is pointing to this dynamic allocation. Otherwise, all of these variables are again static only. So our task here is what? Can we do this program by making use of all the variables as dynamic only? That is totally, we will not go for static variable declaration. We will go for dynamic declaration only. So how can we do it? We need to make use of pointers for that, right? Because you have seen now, whenever we say star p, we are trying to point it to the dynamic memory allocation. So if this program can be converted to a completely dynamic memory allocation, how can we do it? Okay. First of all, we need to declare everything as a pointer here. Okay. Now, the esum was a variable to calculate the sum of even digits. I have said star of esum. When I declare the variable esum as a pointer variable, I cannot initialize it to 0 because currently it has not been assigned any memory. We have, if you look at this particular pointer variable p and you look at this statement, you are initializing p to hold a dynamic memory there. This will be called as a dangling pointer, means a pointer which is not pointing to anything. It is not pointing to a function, it is not pointing to a variable. So this declaration will be wrong. Okay. So first we will just declare them as pointer variables. So for this also I will add an asterisk and I will remove the initialization. And the other two variables that I have for iteration, I will declare them also as a pointer variable. Is this part understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Remember that whenever we make use of a pointer declaration, we cannot directly initialize this esum and osum. The reason being, they are not pointing to any memory location. They are not initialized to any dynamic memory location. They are basically called as dangling pointers. Means dangling in the sense which are not pointing to anything, which are just hanging. They are just hanging in the memory there. So for that sake, what we need to do is, okay, we will also have to write a statement similar to this one. We will have to write a statement similar to this one. So let me just copy this statement. And here, before I accept, for the variables n, I will assign and I will make use of the function malloc now. I will go for making use of the function malloc because see, I need to just accept and store a single, in a single block I can store the element like the size, how much is needed that I can store in the variable n. And here the syntax of malloc will be n is equal to size of integer. So the same thing I'm going to do for my variable. The variable is I. I'm going to initialize it again to hold the dynamic memory. Then coming to the next part, that is esum and the variable osum. Okay. So we will do the same thing again. Here I need to initialize my esum to hold the dynamic memory allocation here. After this statement, you can now initialize it to esum is equal to 0. So once you have made use of this, once you have made use of the initialization for dynamic allocation, you are allowed to initialize it to the initial value. So similarly, we need to have a declaration for osum also to calculate the sum of odd integers. And then we can also initialize this to 0. Now, here these statements remain the same. Now, only one change will happen in this. Can anyone tell what is that?
Remove ampersand.
Correct. We need to remove the ampersand because we have dynamically initialized our variables here. Then coming down to the next one, this statement is going to remain same because we are going to store our elements like in the form of an array continuously. Now have a look at this particular n size, the number of elements that are accepted from the user, since we have made use of a pointer here. Okay. So we need to declare this also as a pointer and we need to add an asterisk there. So here we will ask the user to enter the elements. Then coming to the loop. Now we cannot say I. Have a look here. We have declared everything as a pointer. So our task is what now? To make use of the pointer variables. So instead of I, we are going to say asterisk of I. The same thing for the next iteration here. This is again going to be asterisk of I. The variable n is again a pointer variable. So you need to again make use of asterisk. Coming to this part of iteration, I++ would be a static variable. To make use of a pointer variable, we need to precede it with star. But if I just write like this, asterisk I++, that will,
Brackets.
yes, that is not going to work. So for that, you remember the precedence of operators, and we need to make use of the brackets. So here we need to make use of brackets. Coming to the scanf statement again, what is going to change now here? I, the variable I has been declared as a pointer variable. So again, if I just say star, this will again be give us a wrong value. So we just need to make use of the brackets. Just make use of the brackets here. So here star p plus, again the value of I is to be made use of a pointer variable and enclosed in brackets. So this part esum, what change will be there here after making use of a pointer variable? Should we precede this with an asterisk?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, because esum has been declared as a pointer variable again. So this will also be dynamic again. So make use of the asterisk there. This part star p I is again a dynamic pointer variable. So we are going to make use of asterisk. Similarly here also star of awesome. This is also going to be star of awesome. And here within the brackets, we need to make use of the asterisk. So what about your printf statements here? We need to now print asterisk of esum and asterisk of awesome. Okay. So this is just an example because we are talking about totally dynamic memory allocation. We have spoken on this, but then whenever we implemented our programs, we have only made use of this one line most of the times. That is declaring one pointer variable and then trying to initialize it to hold a dynamic memory. But this is just one simple exam. You can try to remember this as an extra knowledge part, that all the variables here are now a pointer variables. They are no more static. And each of these variables have been initialized to dynamic memory allocation. So these set of statements are all dynamic memory allocations, even this one. So when we make use of pointers, we also need to make use of, in the loops or even in the printf statements, we directly cannot just say I now, because all of them are pointer variables. So you just precede them with a asterisk operator and put it in the brackets. So this is for calculate the sum of even digits and to calculate the sum of odd digits. Any doubts in this particular program? Why we are using asterisks? Any part which is not followed?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All of you can drop in your attendance for this session.